Anyway, this is Operations Officer Windfall, also known as Satan. Um, okay. I don't want to go back too far, otherwise, it would be too time consuming. But when Pope Benedict was approached by certain people with certain instruments, let's say, he basically formulated a letter, a holy decree, I guess you'd say, a papal order that said when a certain person was identified in the church, this person would become his I don't know, his agent. In other words, all right, when a pope dies, there's a person in the church that acts as if it was the pope. And there's this movie called Angels and Demons. Like also, there's a Da Vinci Code, and there's Angels and Demons. Anyway, the Angels and Demons. This was a person who was became kind of like the acting pope, right? Anyway, and so anything that they say is as if the pope had said it, even though the pope's actually dead, and they haven't really elected a new pope yet. They did elect a new pope, but anyway, that was the film version. So when Pope Benedict made this papal order, and certain people approached him in the Vatican, and anyway, well, so basically, the order was, the decree was, which was as God speaks, because that's what because the Vicar of Christ, that is the Holy See, that is, the Pope, when the Pope speaks, it is as if it was coming from God. So it's God's order. Right. So, so the Pope is like God on earth when he speaks in this, in a formal fashion. And also with letters. So anyway, this letter ordered that when a certain person in the church was identified, they would become his heir, I guess you say. And so then, subsequently, not very long, very short time from that point when that letter was formulated, and it was safeguarded by certain persons in the church. He abdicated. That is, you can't really abdicate as a pope, but you can't excommunicate yourself, strangely enough. So the pope excommunicated himself. It was basically made it impossible to be the pope. So he was no longer the pope once he had excommunicated himself. But it was done in a secret fashion. So he stayed in the office. He still was a pope to the public, but he was excommunicated. He excommunicated himself. So immediately, the person that was identified in the order that the Pope, and when the Pope was the Pope, as the heir, then the heir had to be found. So the heir was found, and the heir is me. Yeah, I didn't know I was the heir, but it turns out when I wrote this letter to the Vatican, to the Pope, that identified me as me, and then as the Pope per se, as the acting Pope anyway, anything I say becomes truth. And to speak it plainly, I said I'm Satan right out in public. So that means when I say that in a formal way, which I'm saying now, then that means that Satan is on earth. Satan is here. I am Satan. Or you want to say, use a vernacular, the devil. So, it's kind of hot in here, isn't it? I think I'm approaching hell. Where is hell? Oh, it's at my feet. Oh my God. My feet look nasty too. So anyway, basically that's what happened. So it wasn't until 2011 that I actually made the decree that I am Satan. Mostly because it took a while for the certain mechanisms at work here. But anyway, so now that I'm officially the devil, and therefore the devil is the head of the Catholic Church at this point. The Satan is. Until such time as I'm no longer wanting to be the head of the Catholic Church. I didn't really want to be, but they sort of forced it on me. It was a history thing. But in reality, I'm an alien. That is, I'm from another planet. Actually, I'm one of the Time Lords. I live in the continuum. Normally, I live in the continuum. I'm from the continuum, which is at the end of time, when there is no more time. And that's a good segue, yeah. Anyway, you think I invented all this stuff. I made it all up. No, it's real. But it makes a good film. And that's why I'm putting it on YouTube, because it makes such a wonderful film. For all my supporters out there, this is for you. For all my adversaries, you're going to get yours, baby. You're going to get yours. You're going back to the pit where you belong. I'm going to take you there personally. You got that from the devil himself.